Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second module of the Blended Online Learning Retreat, the online portion of the Blended Online Learning Retreat. Um, in this portion, we're going to be continue our brainstorming, continue our preparation for the face-to-face session. And in this module, we're going to be thinking about and exploring a lot of different sort of ideas, strategies, and conceptions of how to best integrate technology into your courses, whether they be online blended or face-to-face, a technology enhanced course. So we have a bunch of different resources in this module. Please don't be intimidated by them. We have some suggestions on what to prioritize on the Moodle site. If you have a limited time, I'll also tell you here what things you should look at and what things that you can glance over. So with that being said, let me talk a little bit about the resources we have. So we have this introductory module. You're already looking at this, so great. We also have another little mini lecture. It's about 5 minutes long. And I just talk a little bit about what the definitions are for blended online and technology enhanced teaching, because we talk about all of those different modalities over and over and over again. And so I wanted just to give you a baseline definition so you know what I'm talking about, and we can all share the same ideas, right? We all have the same basic vocabulary when we're talking about these different kinds of courses. So take a look at that real quick. I made it with some different kinds of tools that I've been experimenting with. So you could please look at the video and tell me how you like it. I'd be interested to hear. So I'm also playing and learning as we're doing this. Okay. Um, we have a bunch of different readings up for this week. We have three just real general readings for you. Two of them are super short. One is a Chronicle article. It was written back, I think, around pandemic era by Michelle Miller. She is fantastic. She wrote one of the best books on teaching online called Minds Online back in the 2016, I believe. But she has some really great insights, just super short. It's like about maybe 2 or 3 pages long. But it has some great insights on what you want to think about when you're just putting technology into your teaching and into your courses, right? What are kinds of ways, what kinds of things should you be thinking about when you want to adopt a technology or want to adopt a technology enabled practice? We have another super short reading from Harvard University, the great Harvard University. But that is on a flipped classroom strategy. I wanted to put that up there because that is really a foundational strategy. It's one that people talk about a lot when we talk about technology enhanced teaching, or even when we talk about blended learning. So I just wanted to throw that out there because you'll hear us talking about it. And if you haven't heard of that method before, you're a little unclear about what it means. That's just a really good primer for it. And again, that's like maybe a 2-minute read. So it's just super quick little web page. We have a much longer reading, somewhat longer reading. It's about a chapter, but it's an easy read. It's from I think one of the best book on about teaching, online teaching. It's called the Online Teaching Survival Guide, Bocher and Conrad. It's in its third edition now. But this has it's just a list of 14 practices, 10 plus 4, they say, 14 practices that you want to think about when you're teaching or creating an online learning environment. And they're just really good, solid pieces of advice and really good, solid things that you can think about. I love it. I look at this just as a reminder for myself. You can look at this like as a checklist of things that you might want to think about when you're creating stuff. So take a look at that. I think you'll find it super useful. And it's just good stuff to have in your back pocket and to be thinking about when we're developing tech. We then have a whole separate section of resources. Those are things that we have done here at Pacific. Robbie Pock has written a bunch of them. I've written a bunch of them. So we want to take a look at those because they give you some case studies on what people at Pacific have done and how they've successfully implemented some of these technology-enabled teaching strategies right here with our students. So we have 4 teaching profiles. Um, 2 of them are on, well, 3 of them really are on sort of a flipped, different kinds of flipped classroom models. They're really, really interesting. And each one of those profs is a somewhat different thing. And the third is a profile of Jennifer Harker, who's gamified her class, and she really used Moodle to help her enable her do that. You have to dig into the interview. I actually watched the video to check out how she actually implemented some of this stuff within Moodle. We then have 2 pages up that we wrote after the pandemic. So we surveyed people during the pivot online and after the pivot online to figure out what was really working for folks. We had this opportunity where everybody at Pacific was using technology all the time. So we wanted to know what they were doing and what they found was successful. So we got that information from folks and we wrote it down. And it's really, really good to say so myself. But it's actually really, really good advice in there. There's some really good things that you can put into really any class, but specifically you're thinking about tech. So take a look at those. Now, so here's where it's promised, right? That's a lot of stuff. So if you're strapped for time, I know it's graduation weekends coming up, all kind of stuff going on. Some of you are beginning to teach again. Some of you are still finishing up. So if you're strapped for time, there are 3 things you should read. Read that Bocher and Conrad piece, that long piece, right? That's really good. You'll find it useful. Look at the profile of Sage Davis Ryson. She's the director of PA, but she did a lot of work with flipping the classroom. That profile is great. It'll give you a great in-depth view of thinking about flipping a classroom and what kind of things are important in that. And then the third one is look at the document on teaching after the pandemic. These are things that people said after the pivot was more or less finished. They said, these are the things that we found really valuable and we wanted to take forward. And that has some great, great, great tips in it of things that people found that were really successful. It worked for them. So take a look at all of those. I'll be buzzing around online. Tatiana and Robbie will also be buzzing around online. And so we'll be here. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email or let us know. I forgot to mention, you do have one forum activity that we'll want you to do. We'll want you to do that on the Monday. I believe it's Monday the 18th is when it will be due. And that forum activity will ask you just to choose one of the strategies that you found in all these resources and how you might want to apply that, right? This is really a brainstorming thing, but it's really trying to get you to think about and help you think about what kinds of ways you want to intentionally start putting technology into your course and how you might intentionally help use this technology to help your students be more engaged and be more successful. So that'll be due on the 18th. All right. So that's it. You'll see us in that forum as well. So good luck with everything. Let me know if you have any questions and really looking forward to seeing you online. Bye-bye, everybody.